Hello, Working Mommy Manual listeners.
Hello, that's Nicole Corning.
And that's Kathleen Wilson.
How are you?
How are you?
I am good. It's Friday, actually.
It is Friday.
Well, actually, I have to say, cheers.
I stole a bottle of Vouv from the office.
You didn't steal it. You bought it.
I did buy it. I owe Perry half for it now.
Yes. So actually yesterday was Juneteenth, which was a federal holiday. So everybody had the day off. So today feels like a Monday to me. And I keep referring to Wednesday as Friday. I'm like, well, on Friday. And they're like, today is Friday. I heard that twice today. And I'm like, yes, it is.
Yes, it is. I get 2 days off.
Every day is just, it's just a go. There is no end and no beginning in my world.
Okay, so you already heard this story, but yes, those are our lives, because when you're working and raising a family and doing all the things, that's your life.
Yes.
So my brother, my sister-in-law, and my baby niece, who's 5 years old, and she's so cute.
She is adorable.
She is so funny. Anyway, she's the sweetest little girl. Yesterday, she was like, we're going to do a picnic in the house. And she's like, and everyone has a job, and I'm going to get snacks. So she's getting the picnic together. She's getting snacks. And she's like, okay, this is your job. This is your job. This is your job. And she goes, and Auntie Nikki, you are very busy. So your job is just to relax.
I love this.
And then my sister-in-law was like, she is a truth teller.
Oh my gosh. I love that you guys did the whole mani-pedi picnic. But I was like, where did they go? It's 100 and hell outside.
No, just in the house.
Okay.
She got her pink blanket out.
I was happy to hear that, because I was like, where did they go?
No. I mean, and it is still really hot, although it's
For June, by the way.
June. But it's supposed to get down into 95,
Yes.
like the 90s, which I know everyone's like 95, but 95 in Arizona
Is nice.
It is nice.
Yeah.
Because we have no humidity.
Well, and now when you go into the grocery store, it's freezing cold. And I actually like coming out and kind of defrosting a little bit with the heat.
You have to, because
Yeah.
your blood circulation is like sluggish and your lips are blue.
Yep.
And no, it's not.
So cold. And my husband was like, it is too hot already. I'm like, please don't start saying that now.
No,
it is
no.
June.
No.
We have until maybe the beginning of October. No.
I will tell you, the end of September is when I start getting worn out.
Yeah.
I am like,
No,
okay,
yeah, I hear you.
It needs to stop.
But if you really think about it, I always gauge Halloween as the date.
That's funny, me too, because
Because-
some Halloweens are perfection.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, you get one that is so hot. I remember when the babies were little, and there would be Halloweens where we'd put them in their costumes, and they would just be running around naked in their diapers within an hour.
Oh yeah, it's too hot.
Too hot.
But we love Arizona.
Even for Batman.
Yes.
Or Princess Leia.
Right?
Although that would be us. Although Princess Leia, Star Wars made a comeback.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, so we're drinking Vouv because we barely made it through the
Friday.
week. It has been. I feel like I've run a marathon.
Actually, when I was just filling you in on the antics, did I say Friday? I think I told you Friday. I said on Friday I had a conversation with this person and this person.
And I knew exactly what you meant.
And then Wednesday.
Because I translate. We share a brain.
We do.
I was like, she meant the day before
Yes.
the holiday.
Yes.
And I know,
That's
girl.
exactly it.
Okay.
It's those things I think of later when I'm driving, and I'm like, oh, I think I said this, but I meant that.
And that is why you need really good friends who know exactly what you meant, and you don't have to explain or apologize.
Exactly.
I hope you all have them.
Very true.
Okay, so we talked about kids being assholes in the Teen Hole episode.
Yep.
We talked about how awesome it is being a parent in the Kids Are All Right episode.
Yes.
What are we talking about today?
Today, we're talking about the boundaries that we established with the kids when they were younger to get to the point where they are today. They're always going to test your boundaries, which they should. I want my children to test boundaries. But I always say, please use your superpowers on someone else. I don't need it. I do not need it, and I don't want it. All right? Take it elsewhere.
So
I'll just teach you the things.
I wanted to talk about this because my youngest son was a super douche, and I laid down a real hard boundary. Now he's 18, so this might have been a harsh boundary.
Nope.
But we're going to work up to it. And how I kind of, what I did immediately in the heat of the moment, what I did later to kind of, make it a constructive moment, how you helped me, because my initial response was not as constructive or loving as I was originally.
Well, you know
as
what's
I
really funny?
ended up.
When we get to that point, I'll talk to you about what my reaction would have been, because it's similar, but it's a little different in my mind. But I would have done the same thing, except we'll get to there.
Okay.
I don't want to ruin it.
Okay. So so I thought this would be a good thing to talk about because my kid was a super douche, but it made me remember before I had children, I bought my first house in this nice little subdivision, and I used to walk my dog in the morning, and I started walking my dog with this other neighbor woman who was probably as old as I am right now, but I thought she was so old.
She's 35?
She's 35, and she was a smoker. No, she probably was like, I'm going to say mid-50s.
Yes.
Okay.
And you were like 30?
And I was like 27.
Okay.
Bought my first house.
Can you believe that we were 27 at one time?
And it was like, and I remember buying my first house.
It's so crazy.
So, okay. So we're walking our dogs. She was a third grade teacher. And she said something to the effect, I'm going to butcher this, but she said something to the effect of, by the time your child is in third grade, if you haven't given them boundaries, you are not going to be able to instill boundaries in them. And I mean, like I basically had one dog I was keeping alive, like not even plants, right? Children, but for
So it resonated with you because this was before kids.
it was way before kids. And
Wow.
before you have kids,
Yeah.
you think you can do,
Oh, for sure.
Do you know what is so amazing? So my brother and sister-in-law, my little niece are here with me this week, staying with me from a town outside of Boston. And my sister-in-law and brother, and I love them.
Yes.
Okay, I love them.
Of course.
But when I had two rambunctious boys, and they did not have children, and they were kind of judgy, which like so was I when I was before I had kids. Like let's call it what it is. Like I was too. But my sister-in-law, I just saw her a couple of weeks ago, and she said, "I want to write a book, and the book is about all the things I judged you about."
Being a parent.
That I wish I could take back because they have all come home to roost. I'm like, you didn't have to write a book. Like we all did it.
But now, and you still do it actually when you're parents, because if you see another kid acting up, you're like, I would never let my kid do that, right?
Okay, so I have gone in the opposite direction in that I have had some revelations. Actually, let's level set, okay? Because just a reminder to any audience members, like Kathleen, you know this because we've known each other for a long time and we are like intimately familiar with one another.
Yeah.
But for our listeners, just to level set, like I am for sure a free range parent. Mm-hmm. I am. So my sister-in-law is like, so my dad does he does metal work and rock. Makes
geocaching
jewelry.
or something?
No, he does like all, and so he has a room in his house with like, I don't know, like grinders and like, I don't know, torches
his
and
artwork.
Yes. And it's awesome, by the way. Mm-hmm. He's actually very talented. So anyway.
Does he have an Etsy account? Do we need to set Ed up with an Etsy account? We need to do that.
We need another side hustle.
He needs a TikTok too.
Oh my God. Could you imagine my dad on TikTok?
No.
Sammy, she's going to cut your balls off. Favorite quote ever.
Do I talk to TikTok or is everybody TikTok?
Hey, TikTok, this is Eddie Winborn.
Yep.
Okay. So he has a small workroom in the house. So my niece, my mom is like desperate to have my niece sleep at her house. She loves her. She transformed her entire bedroom, guest room, into a room for Zoe. She has an entire wardrobe. When I say entire, I mean entire. She has dolls. She has stuffed pillows. She has little animals, like little plushies or whatever. She has bedding. My mom changed out the goddamn pictures on the wall to be little girl. Yeah, and she showed Zoe, and Zoe's like, I love it. I love my room. And then she's like quiet for a minute. And she goes, I love my room.
Oh.
Like
she is such a personality. She is such a personality. I love her.
She's amazing. So, anyway, so she's supposed to sleep in my parents' house. And so my brother and sister-in-law are like, well, she can't sleep there until they put a lock on, Dad's workroom. And I'm like, okay. And then I'm thinking to myself, like, I mean, or you can just tell your kid not to go in the room.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
I don't know. Don't go in the room.
It's a boundary.
Don't go in the room. I mean, and they might, but anyway, I was like, okay, all right. I mean, she's 5, right? And, but again, here it is. I'm judging and I'm just like, all right, it's their kid. I'm not going to say anything. Then my sister-in-law asked me very innocently. So they went up to the water park with my parents. My parents have this like kind of community water park. And my sister-in-law's like, so what age did you let your parents take your boys to the water park? And I was like, you know what, Joy? My parents helped me raise my children. So like, we didn't have a limit. Like they just took them. Yep. I don't know. 6 months. I don't know whenever it was, they just said, hey, Nikki, we're babysitting your kids. Great. We're taking them to the water park. Sounds great.
Yes.
Like
go tire them out.
I was like, okay, so that was my sister-in-law who I love. I love. My sister-in-law, she's awesome. Yes. Like she's like, I hit the lottery. But then I was at orientation with my son who was a douchebag. He's turning the corner a little bit, I think. But anyway, but I took time off of work.
Yes.
Like I
even sent you encouragement before you went because I know how these teens are. They're not just like over the moon. And like sometimes I think of some friends who kids are like glued to the hip and chit chat with them all the time and stuff. Like I don't get that at all. And I know you don't get that.
I do not.
So
Jack is a sweetie.
Well,
Jack
and
is
Bailey's
a sweetie.
the same way too. Bailey can
But Sam, no. Yeah. And so Sam treated me like I don't know what. Like he treated me like I was, I don't know, a homeless person begging for money. Anytime he just was so dismissive and like get away the whole time. And so anyway, I remember. Okay, so but in orientation, he's going to George Washington University. We didn't do this for the state school. State school kids, you will not know what this is. I didn't know what it was. My oldest goes to a state school. I went to a state school. Like they were just like, here's your moving date. Come on. No, if you're gonna spend enough on a college education to buy a small house, they bring the parents to orientation. And the kids basically did a separate orientation and the parents did an orientation. Well, the questions from the parents.
Oh no.
Girl.
No.
That I did not throat punch people. I have self-control.
You're like, you should have stood up and said, I'm going to save everybody time right now.
I'm like, y'all need to hire me because I'd be like, no.
Yeah. Or just
no.
ask ChatGPT the question before you get here. Because ChatGPT would answer the question.
Do you know what one guy said?
What?
I literally sighed audibly. I almost got up. He's like, because so they got the team from like the department that collects money. I don't know what they are. Anyway.
Oh, the bursar's office?
Yeah, and they were so great. But the guy was like, don't be late with your payment. Like, this is the due date. Don't be late. Yeah. If you're a day over, there's like, he was clear.
Right.
And this guy gets up, he's like, what if I liquidate my 529 plan at the Yes! Yes! What if I liquidate it, but the money doesn't get there because I've made my best effort, but I'm waiting because I want to get the interest until the So anyway, this other woman who was on the team was nicer than the main guy. And she's like, well, if it's like a day or two late, we'll give you some grace. Ugh. And I thought I almost got up and I was like, have you, please do not try to pass yourself off as anyone financial. Because if you have a cent in this market right now that you are spending in the next 3 months, you're an idiot. Okay.
Right.
B, what kind of interest rate are you getting on the 3 days of interest or whatever you think you're getting return on your portfolio that what is it? $5?
Nominal.
You know, buddy, here's $5.
Yes.
I'm going to give you $5.
Yeah.
And now problem solved. I'm going to save you a 5% late fee by giving you $5. You're welcome. But okay, that wasn't even was a dumbass question.
That's like being on a conference call, a national conference call, and when they open up for Q&A,
and you're like, please.
You're like, nope,
no,
not
with the stupid questions.
Nope. They already answered that. You weren't listening.
I'm going to start saying yes. That's what I'm going to start saying. I'm going to say they already answered that. I should have gotten up and said, sir, he answered that. Liquidate 2 days earlier.
Yes.
And you're going to miss out on $5. Anyway, but
you're like the bubble. You're the people's bubble.
I know. And this guy was up there. I'm sure he was thinking the same thing. Like, There's
Do you get
always
what I'm saying
one
when you're a bubble?
motherfucker.
I know.
There's
you
always
know.
one. Okay, so that wasn't where so my sister-in-law, who I adore, obviously much more interested in her children's safety than I have ever was.
You're like,
I get
she's
it.
like, your version of keeping them alive and her version of keeping them alive are different.
Yeah, look, I'm not leaving loaded guns on the coffee table, but like I'm like, if I tell my kids don't do something, like I kind of expect them not to do it.
Right.
Anyway,
Right.
So, and if they're 5, they should know.
Yeah.
So one of these women, I almost got up and told this one to get a hobby. So they had the guy from the dining, who runs all the dining experiences, right? And he's like, okay, here's what they're credited. Here's where they swipe. They can swipe once per hour. Like, and the questions about that, I was like, y'all, please. So this one woman gets up and she looks at the guy and she's like, can I see where they are swiping and what they are buying?
Why would you ask that? Why can't, like...
This is the woman I almost told to get a hobby, because I was like, lady, if you are tracking, first of all, if you have not taught your child how to feed itself by the time they're 18, that's the least of your problems, A. B, get a hobby. Because if you have that much time to figure out what your kid is ingesting every hour on the hour, you need to take up knitting. Pickleball's super popular right now. Whatever, get a goddamn life.
Right.
And so this guy gave the best answer though. I was like, he goes, no, you can't. He goes, I can, but you can't.
They're 18, by the way. They're 18.
They're 18.
You can't even get any information from the portal. Their medical portal's been, as soon as Brooklyn turned 18, freaking the pediatric portal shut me down. They were like, you no longer have access to Brooklyn Wilson's information. I was like,
you know what we can do? You know what we can do though? We need to call our friend at Warner Engel, Jackson, Allen and Furmanic, the oldest law firm here.
Yes.
They do great work.
Yes.
And we're going to call our friend Phil Hilliard,
Yes.
who's an amazing estate attorney.
Yes.
And we got to get
POAs. We do. Actually, Dylan.
that is, and that actually, you know what? That can be your mom hack.
That is.
So
Actually,
you can
I've
talk about
already
that.
been
Let's not
looking
even
it up.
talk about it. Let's not even talk about it. That's your mom hack.
Zip.
Because Kathleen was like, I don't know what my mom hack is. And I'm like, I know what mine is, because it will tie in with the story of evil Nicole and what I did to my douchebag child.
By the way, you're not evil. You're real. Okay. There's a difference.
Okay, and it's funny that you say that, because on the drive down here, I was talking to Jonathan, and I'm like, we're going to talk about setting boundaries and how we created expectations of respect. Now, not that it was perfect or that these children do it all the time. I told you about my douchebag child, but that it doesn't we had to start early and you reinforce throughout the whole life, and it shifts and changes, right?
Yes.
So, and because you can't beat them anymore, so now you have to think of all these kinds of.
Can we really ever beat them? No.
Well, in the 70s, if you didn't beat your child, you were a bad parent.
True.
Right?
Yeah.
I mean, there was his line.
I would say with diapers on the butt, I would give them a good whack and send them on their way, letting them know that was not appropriate. So
Yeah, I know. So I know. So
my mom, by the way, would grab a belt and whip the bedpost with it if she were mad at us or any of us, and she would whip the bed, and I would just stand there and cry.
Oh, she would whip the bedpost?
She would whip the bedpost.
my father would whip me. My father would. It was either the wooden brush, or his belt.
Yeah. No, believe me, we would.
I used to hide my brother in hampers.
But she would be so mad. She knew she couldn't whoop us because she was going to murder us.
That's self-control.
That is. Good job, Beth.
Good job, Beth.
Rest in peace, Mama.
Eddie. Yeah, R.I.P. Beth. Eddie, not so much. Not so much.
My brother actually got the. My mom was doing one of those reach behind you, try to find what you can find to whip ya.
Anything.
And she grabbed a high heel. So he got a high heel to his high knee.
Oh,
yeah.
Snapper doodle do.
Not
But he
good.
didn't do that again.
Nope.
See, that is what.
No, can I tell you my favorite?
Yeah.
My favorite that ever happened ever. So, you all know, my mom was a single mom with 5 children, and actually she started with 4, and then the 4 of us, and she left my dad in the middle of the day. It was this whole story. And I don't know, I think we've talked about it. Anyway.
No, but so she left an abusive situation.
Uh-huh.
And she drove across country with 4 children that she snuck out in the middle of the night.
Yep.
And stayed at women's shelters.
Yes.
Like it was like made for TV movie.
She was amazing.
Okay, so that she whipped the bedpost, like all y'all who are out there like judging.
Yeah, no, she did everything on her own.
I would like to see you not whip your bedpost if you're in best position.
I know.
Keep going.
So at one of these women's shelters we stayed at, she befriended a woman and her 3 children. So all of a sudden there's 7 of us, and we're going across.
She found her tribe.
She did. Charisse and her son Reggie, and I can't remember the other girls' names because I just can't remember. Anyway, so we trucked from like Missouri all the way up to Washington State. They came with us. They ended up getting apartments in the same apartment building. Oh. And my grandmother lent us her card table as a table. You know, that was what we had to use as a card table. So there was like 4 chairs. So you knew everybody wasn't sitting at the table at the same time. But you know, card tables, they're kind of like
they're shaky.
80s. Well, you know, they're soft tops. They're not, right? So they're all soft tops. So my brother and the other family member decided to take knives and shred all of the chairs. Shred them. We don't have a penny to our name. We have a nothing. And my brothers, they do this, right? My mom came home. She was so pissed off. And then, you know, I saw her cry sometimes, but not all the time. And I know that was a crying moment. Oh. So she did grab the wooden spoon. He freaking got a whooping with that wooden spoon. Then when the friend that came with us, she came over, knocked on the door. She's like, "What'd you beat your son with? I want it." She beat her son with the same spoon.
That is the most 70s parenting story I've ever heard. Like 2 women like making it on their own, like, you know, like Rhonda and Mary Tyler Moore, except, you know, the Bizarro version. And just, oh my God.
Isn't that so? She's like, knock, knock, knock. What did you beat your son with? I want it. So
oh my God.
Here you go.
Okay. So speaking of which, like we're sidetracking.
We're totally
I know we got to stay on time. Okay. We got to stay on time. But it reminds me of, so I'm writing a second book. And it's about a woman in finance, a young woman in finance. Mm-hmm. And I was talking with my editor. Did I tell you this? I was talking with my editor like a week ago.
We don't get to talk.
I know. This is why we're doing it. So anyway, we were talking about, you know, this girl's background, right? And how it's like this really rough background, which by the way, it's like my background.
I know. I wondered.
So I'm like, okay, so it's a little bit more than my back. It's almost like my background if things went totally off the rails. Okay. Like it's if things continue down a bad path instead of like went to the good side. So anyway, so it's like a sliding door. Anyway, the point is, but like between you and we have other friends and you know what I'm talking about. Like, anyway, we have friends in this industry. Anyway, so my editor was like, you're going to have to paint the picture because how did she end up in finance when with her background, she really just should have ended up in jail. And I don't think she knows it's my background, but I was like, so I told her,
she just finally made some really good decisions.
I know. I said, you would be surprised. I actually used you, another friend. I'm like, I have a friend whose mother like left an abusive marriage and lived in homeless shelter, in abused women's shelters. Yep. I have another friend who resuscitated her mother after a drug overdose. And if you met any of these women, you would never know. They are the most together, like pristine, like smart, just like positive, like we can do anything kind of women. Right. I'm like, that's how you end up in finance.
It's willpower.
And that's actually how you end up in finance because there's so few of us women, you have to just have gone through like awful experiences where you're like, oh, this is nothing.
Right.
Like this, like, what did you just call me?
Right.
Or what did you just try to make me feel like? Like, I don't care.
Yep.
Anyway, okay, back. So what were we even talking about?
Okay, so back to what we were talking about. Okay, so you actually said a good point. There's like a fork in the road, right? Mm-hmm. So as what we've taught these kids is when they were little, and it starts little, there's a fork in the road. You either make it easy for yourself and you make it easy for the kids, and that's not the right path, honestly. It's like, you know, the path of least resistance is the path.
Are we going to say it like leads to the devil?
Yeah, you just have to be able to set the expectations. Here, I'll give you an example. And we've talked about this. I mean, when the kids are toddlers, like, you know, they talk about terrible 2s. 3s are just as bad, if not worse, honestly.
I thought 3s were worse.
Yeah, we call them 3-nagers. We did when we were there. So
that's a good one.
So anyway, when I remember...
Copyright that.
Yeah. Brooklyn was having a huge meltdown because she wasn't doing something I needed her to do for her to get a lollipop or an ice cream or whatever it was. I don't even remember. And I was on the phone with my mother-in-law, and Brooklyn is having a fit, full on meltdown. And I finally said, excuse me, mother-in-law. I'm like, excuse me, Janet, hold on just a second. And I'm like, Brooklyn, you are not getting this until this is done, period. So don't ask me until it's done. And so I get back on the phone with my mother-in-law, and she's like, I am so glad that you're teaching them these things at this young of an age. And my husband would always say, you're so hard on them. I'm like, we're teaching them their morals and their values now. You don't do it when they're a teenager. You have to set it up now.
And you don't have to come down on them for every little thing. I think that's when you're being hard on them.
Yeah.
But when they have crossed a line.
Yeah.
So I would also say, like, if you have a baby right now, you need to get ready because this is coming at you and this is going to happen. Mm-hmm. Your toddler is going to melt down in Target or the grocery store or wherever the heck you're at.
Yep.
And you are going to have a full basket. You are going to be like minutes from walking out.
Yep.
And you have done this whole planning.
Yep.
Like you needed this time. You need everything in that basket.
Yep.
And your kid is freaking out. And you know what? You have to be prepared to walk out of the store and just leave that whole basket right there.
Right.
And I've done that.
I have too. I've asked them to put it in the cooler. I'm like, can I give you this basket? Can we put it in the cooler? I'll be back for it.
Oh, you're so smart. I just was like, bye.
Yeah, I just asked them to play. I go, we're having a moment. I need to take her home.
Well, that's good to know.
Yeah, you can. There's my other mom hack.
I just didn't know how long it was going to take me to calm the child down. And I was in Target, so I didn't have anything cold.
Yeah, right.
At that point, I just was
then
like.
That's fine. They're used to abandoned carts.
Right. But the point is, get ready. You got a 6-month-old, you're like, my baby is perfect.
Nope.
Your perfect baby is going to rock your world in a public space, and you absolutely have to be ready to walk out.
Yes.
Do not try to gut through it. Do not try, just walk out, because when they see that, if I swear to God, at 2 or 3, you think they don't pay attention. At 2 or 3, they're like, Mama's not playing.
Oh no.
She doesn't care.
Right.
She will walk out.
So to this day, this is one of Bailey's core memories, which I don't know if this is good or bad, but I was at the gym.
Sorry, hold on.
And I had
Champagne.
asked, so we were at the gym and I just finished with a workout, and Bailey was like a runner. Bailey's like 5. And he's like, can I just run to the edge of the curb? And I'm like, you can run to where the car is and you have to stop. It was like, side, they're like, I don't know, 5x5, whatever it is. And so I said, you can run to that spot and then you stop. Well, Bailey ran to that spot and jumped to the edge of the curb where the road is. Freaked the person out who was driving, slammed on their brakes. I grabbed Bailey's arm. I don't think Bailey's feet touched the ground as I hauled B off to the car.
Yeah.
At all. And Bailey goes, did I just fly? I go, you are in so much trouble right now. You don't scare other things. You have to think about what you're doing. And that's why I said you have to stop at the line and not at the actual curb, because you're going to scare the people. So Bailey stopped and then jumped. Oh my God. I was like, these kids, they will test you at any moment.
Oh my God, they will. And okay, so when they're itty bitty, they are going to have a meltdown. Just be prepared.
Yep.
And just it doesn't matter. You can figure something else out. You can go without eggs for the extra night. You can regroup. But what that teaches your child, it hits them, and it is a core memory. Yeah. And they are like, the line has been drawn.
Yeah.
Now that doesn't mean they're going to be perfect.
No.
But it builds. It's like when you get filler. They need, I'm just joking. They have to build it up. So it's a process. So I would say the next inflection point for building boundaries for me with the children, probably about 5 or 6. And I remember Jack, I gave him a consequence for something, and he looked at me and said, "You are not my friend." And I said, "Oh, you are right. Mm-hmm. I am not your friend.
Right.
And I will never be your friend.
Right.
I'm your mother.
Right.
I have one job, and that is to raise you right and to make you a good human being."
Yes.
So you're going to have a ton of friends throughout your life. You will have one mother. That's me. I have one job, and I'm doing it.
Yes.
So he was eyes rolling, right? And then, I don't know, probably a week later, he did something else. And he's like, "You're not my friend." And I started to say, "Oh, you are right." And he goes, I know. You're not my friend." And I'm like,
I'm your mother.
That is correct.
Well, you know what's really crazy about that is now, like recently we talked on like the last episode about Dale being sick, and just there is a lot, when
Dale, you are a fucker. Stop messing with us. Now that I am divorced, I need you in my life. I don't know. Like Dale saved my family. I would have killed my children recently if not for Dale. So anyway, so stop pretending you're getting sick. Like now, not only is your family depending on you, but my family is depending on you.
Well, you know what's so funny? You know what they say? Like the statistic is like men's their trouble area of like from 50 to 60, like health-wise. So if they make it through 60, then
they're going to live forever?
Yes. It's the 50 to 60 range.
How old is Dale right now?
He's 55. I've already saved his life twice.
All right, we've got 5 more years.
I've saved his life twice now. So
I'm in it. I am backup. I am backup.
All right,
I am backup.
I'm tagging you.
All right, Wilson.
That's funny. We do call each other Wilson when we're trying to get each other's attention, or if we forget something, we're like Wilson, and that's what we call each other. And we just started calling the kids Wilson too. It's hilarious because usually that's just an us thing. But anyway, yes, much appreciated.
Okay, so as a caveat to me telling Jack like we're not friends, when we went on college trips for him to look at schools, we were in New York City. We were looking at a couple of schools in the area, and we were in a hotel room one night. And we had shared it, and I said to him, "Remember I told you that we're not friends?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I think we can be friends in a little bit more now." So I think we can be like 10% friends and 90% mom.
Because I'm still the boss. No, okay.
I'm still, and I said, and I'm mom first.
Yes, 100%. Okay, so this is what I was.
Even when we get to 50-50, the 50 that I will default to is the mom.
So what I was saying about Dale being sick is that, I'm still working full time. Dale's super sick. We're not knowing what's happening. And I called you with a full-fledged meltdown. You were like at dinner somewhere. And it was after we spoke to the neurologist and all that stuff. And they were like, look, this is what's going on. This is the process.
Oh, remember? My friend was here from out of town.
Yes.
And I was like, I have to take this. I mean, we haven't seen each other in 6 years.
I know. I felt so bad.
And I'm at your aunt's house with you, but can you put a pin in that? She was awesome, though.
I'm so grateful.
Because you have friends.
Yes.
Who were like, they get it.
And, and that's one of the things that's hard about not having my mom, because my mom would have been in that phone call, right? Mm-hmm. So I would have just called her and melted down and filled you in later. But
I'm going to try to channel Beth
you were my first call. Like, I just had to tell you. And then, so later on, a couple of days later, feeling the stress of everything, I'm like, still working. I'm coming home, taking care of the kids. I'm doing the stuff around the house that have to be done. The trash still has to get taken out. The house to get put on the curb. Dale's in the hospital. And so Brooklyn stopped me and she said, I might cry. She said, Mom, just so you know, I'm here for you. So if you need a vent or you need to talk to me, I'm here for you. And I was like, I appreciate you so much, but this is what I said. I'm your mother. I'm not your burden. That's what I said.
Because you know why?
Because I took care of my mom.
Yes.
Like she was the burden.
And that is why I get so triggered that my ex uses my children for like moving out of the house or being his emotional support person or taking him to surgery. Right. I am like, you know what? Get a friend.
Yeah.
Hire someone.
Yeah.
Like, get a car service.
Right.
Like you're the parent.
Right.
It is so triggering.
Right.
It is so triggering.
And that's how I felt. But I hugged her.
But that's different.
Said,
and
you
know what? But here, I'm going to tell you, you can go back to Brooklyn and you can go back to her and say, you know what? I thought about what you said. I was really touched by it. And I am not going to be your burden, but you're 10% friend now. And 10% of me will take you up on that.
Perfect.
And you can be 25%. I don't know, whatever percent you want. I just default to 10. Okay. So that's kind of like early years. Like
I have one more early year for you.
Ooh, bring it.
This is when Brooklyn, speaking of, okay, one of my favorite things also, when Bailey was really little and called Brooklyn, Bailey would say, Brooklyn instead of, and finally Brooklyn had enough and was like, Bailey, it is not Brooklyn, it is Brooklyn. I was like, you go, girl.
Oh,
she was serious.
No.
Anyway,
she's not playing.
So when Brooklyn was little, though, it might have been 8 or 9. I've talked to you about this before, but she was sassing me something harsh. Like, I don't even remember what it was about. It was something crazy. So I just picked up my phone and I started dialing. She's like, what are you doing? And I said, I'm calling your father because I want you to tell him what you told me and how you said it the exact same way. And she was like, no. no. I go, then don't talk to me that way. If you're not going to talk to your father that way, you're not talking to me that way. And she's like, okay.
And one parent usually is the disciplinarian. Like
But I feel like we share that one a little bit.
well, it's not that one parent is totally permissive.
Right.
It's just like one of them is like kind of more the hammer. And
I think it depends on the subject. For Dale and I, anyway, it depends on the subject.
That's true.
You know, I'm like, oh, that's really not that big of a deal. And then I'm having a meltdown. Something he's like, oh, you need to pump the brakes on that one. And so that's where the grounding force comes, you know?
No, and that is why it is helpful to have a partner or someone or a friend at least or a
Engaged.
mom. But it's helpful to have someone who's helping you raise them.
Yep.
Okay, so let's talk about middle school because I think, you know, those are things to be thoughtful about when they're younger. Middle school,
Yeah.
the wheels are coming off the bus in middle school.
Right.
I mean, I have heard of a unicorn of a child who was actually great in middle school. I have like a friend, I can't even remember it, but my mind was blown and I don't think she was joking. And here's the other thing. Bitches lie. So other moms are going to be like, my kid's an angel. My kid cleans its room. My kid never was a problem. And you trust your gut.
Yeah.
You will know when bitches be lying.
Well, do you remember in middle school, we got the phone call from the art teacher, and the art teacher was like, we just finished these Christmas art projects, and Brooklyn's will be in the office, so you can go meet. So Dale shows up.
Let's get ready for this.
Yeah.
Because I got one too.
Dale shows up at the principal's at the office, and he's like, yeah, we're here to collect our daughter's art project. It's probably next to the Parents of the Year award. And the art project was a mug that said Santa's favorite hoe. I took a
How
picture
old
of
is
it.
she?
Oh my God. Like 12, 13.
Oh my God.
Oh my God.
That is the best.
I mean, literally, if I could
You just have to laugh. You've got to laugh.
So I still have it. Every Christmas, it's packed up with the Christmas stuff. Every Christmas, I take it out and I put it next to the coffee shop, our Keurig, and we laugh about it. And she's like, oh. I'm like,
that is the best.
You're going to be 50
what?
years old, and I'm going to have this out next to my
No, you know what you're
coffee pot.
doing? You are giving that to her child. When her child turns 12,
There
be
you
like,
go.
look what your mom made for me once. How sweet is that?
She was making her for one of her best friends. Anyway.
Okay,
that
which
was
still
middle
at
school.
12. Like, okay, so when Jack was probably like somewhere between 8 or 10, I was trying to go to church like fairly regularly, like just non-denominational Christian to give them like, and I'm not super into organized religion, but you know, I had
just for exposure, you're like, I feel like I need to give you like the world. Like you got to figure it out.
Right.
Thank you.
Thanks. So, but you leave your kid at like the kids service or whatever. And it was like this huge mega church. And I, go anyway. So I get back and, Jack comes running up to me and gives me this piece of paper and it has like Jesus on the top and he's like colored him in. And then it says, it's written out like, and they, when Jesus returns, he will know my name because, and it is, and then it was like lines for them to fill out. I don't know what they were supposed to fill out, but you know what my son wrote?
What?
So when Jesus comes back, he will know my name because it is Winner Butthole.
And that's why you don't go to church.
I was like,
Where did he come up with that from? Do you still have that?
I have it in his like kids memory box.
Oh my God.
I'm digging that up.
That is hilarious.
I might post that one just as like
That
a little
is a good
throwback.
one.
Winner Butthole.
Oh my God.
I'll post that. I promise I will. Well, because I have to get his like. So for each of the kids and for me, I have like a big plastic bin.
We have the same too.
And I have his bunny. He had a bunny for a million years. And I gave the same version that I could find to Zoe.
Oh.
And Zoe, she's like, this is baby bunny. And she brings it with her everywhere. So I got to find Jack's baby bunny.
We have one. Brooklyn's was a Dalmatian, and Lucky chewed it up. So now we still have Dalmatian, but we had to get a temporary Dalmatian because she lost it one time. And then we had to put an ear pin, like a safety pin, through the ear, and the eye's missing, and like the nose is half on. We have it in our, like we have this, I don't like these things where you keep all your tchotchkes, but it's the important family things that just goes in there.
You got to have it.
Yeah.
Okay, mom hack. Because you already have one.
Yes.
I'm just going to throw it out there.
Yeah.
If your kid has a stuffy or a blankie or whatever it is, when they identify that as their thing, buy 4 more of them.
Yes.
And put them in your closet.
Yep. But to add to that, you know what you're supposed to do? Rotate it out so that it doesn't get so worn and then all of a sudden it's worn and missing and then you give a brand new one. So you're supposed to throw it in a rotation.
Oh,
so
that's
they're
a good
all
one.
a little tattered.
Look, I don't know that I can commit to part 2.
It takes a village.
I think if I had been thoughtful about it, I would have bought more but I don't know. I'm just being honest, being real. I don't think I could.
I hear you.
Okay, let's talk about middle school.
Yes.
Okay, so middle school.
Or high school. We just talked about middle school.
Did we talk about middle school?
Yes.
Okay, so did we explore it fully? Because I feel like middle school is just.
Add to it.
It's, okay, so I will tell you, Jack, who has out of control ADHD, and was on medication from like 3rd to 6th grade. Then he kind of outgrew it. We couldn't find the right dosage. And he's like, let me just try to do this, on my own. Because he had been like good by the time we got to 6th grade.
Yeah.
Okay, trying to go off your ADHD drugs in middle school, like your hormones are raging, your parents are stupid, your friends are like the most important thing in your life, girls or boys or whatever, like is more important. Anyway, that was a bad mistake. Learn from me. However, and he was awful. And he would do this thing where he would have terrible grades up until like 3 weeks before the end. And then he would like totally pull them up, except for his last semester where he couldn't do that. And what I kept saying I've said to the boys all the time, do the easy things.
Yeah.
Turn your assignments in.
Yes.
Turn your homework in. Do the classwork. Like that's easy. Those are 100%.
Yes.
Just do the work. It's easy. Because
it's not just the grade, it's the assignment. It's if you get 42%, it's better than a 0%.
It is. And like if you're in class, like turn it in.
Just do it.
If you've done just do your homework and turn it in. This is low bar BS stuff. Anyway. So, but he didn't. Jack didn't pull up his grades the last semester and he ended up with like some not like gnarly grades.
Was it summer school?
It wasn't summer school, but it was interesting because I had harped on him for so long and I'd been telling him do the easy things and I had been coaching him through. And look, when your kid gets to middle school, if they aren't there, everything's online. All the grades, you're going to see the missing assignments. Yeah. Stay on top of it. Watch those online things. Like just stay on top of them.
Just check in every week.
They don't listen to you, right? But they do kind of. And at the end of that, so I was driving Jack to his graduation, 8th grade graduation, and he looked at me and said, you know what, Mom? I get it. And I'm not going to do this in high school.
Good.
And he didn't. And he actually had his act together in high school.
It's probably because it's so overwhelming, have so much to do. But yeah, so Bailey didn't fare so well in a couple of classes this past year. So he has been doing summer school. He just finished with biology 2 or whatever. And then I keep saying chemistry, but it was geometry.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, both of those.
Yeah. I know. But I'm like, dude, you gotta do it. And we're not accepting your grade. So now you get an average between the two. And that's your summer sucks because you didn't do what you're supposed to do during the school year.
And here's the consequence.
Yes. And that's another boundary. That's what you have to do.
And I also think it's important to side with your teacher.
Yes.
Publicly.
Right.
Now you might not agree with the teacher, but it's just like fighting with a spouse or a partner.
Right.
Like you have to present a united front to the child. It's too confusing to them.
Right.
Like unless the teacher's like really insane.
We've had one of those. But the principal did their job and they fired her. Like we knew there was a problem and we said something. I think Dale must have said something or I think it was already known. And I said, Bailey, look, if you do what you're supposed to do, that teacher's going to take its course on her own. It's not going to be reflective of you. That's just, she's on her own path anyway.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
No, it's like they're like,
just basically stay out of crazy's way.
Stay out of crazy's way, keep your head down, do the easy things.
Yes.
And these are life lessons.
Yep.
Like these are things they should do the rest of their life. Now that doesn't mean they should stay in a bad situation, right?
But and say something.
Right. And say something.
Absolutely say something.
And you're going to advocate for them. But I think with teachers and your spouse or whoever is helping you raise your child, you just have to be united. Now, behind closed doors, you can have conversations and adult conversations, but I think it just I think it's too confusing because your kids are not your friend.
Okay, so
they are kids.
Bailey was actually telling us about how crazy this teacher was. And so I was like, okay, that's
Like, how
interesting.
crazy?
Like insane. The stuff that this teacher would do in class is just stuff I'm like, really? Is that real? Like just
boiling
insane.
buddies?
Yes, like she was really super crazy.
Yeesh.
So we went to parent orientation. Like this is after school had started and Bailey's already been telling us. We sat down and she started talking and I go, oh Lord, this is the crazy teacher. We got to listen to Bailey now because now we saw it with our own 2 eyes.
Yeah.
So I was like, yeah. And then she was the one that got fired.
Yeah, well, there you go.
Yep.
Okay, so middle school. All right. High school.
Yes. I'm still going through high school.
You are still going through high school. I just got done with high school. I will say I feel like both of my boys settled in high school. And there was actually, my assumption when they were born is that high school was going to be the hardest. Middle school was the hardest. And actually this last year with my youngest son has been the hardest. And I have attributed it to the divorce, but I think he's just being a douche at this point.
Well, that's just hard. You just have to keep talking to them. And I think the basic parenting with your children is just making sure that being consistent. Be consistent. Be consistent when they're toddlers. Be consistent when they're middle school, high school, young adults. Like I even told you on the last podcast, I'm like, oh my gosh, I saw this meme that said, I can't wait for my daughter to be driving home in her 30s on her way to her family, talking to me about her day. And those are the things that we're waiting for. And and I actually even said something to Brooklyn the other day. She was talking to me about venting about something. And I think we agreed to disagree. And he go, but that doesn't mean I don't want to hear anymore. Keep talking to me. But it's just that you asked for my opinion and that's my opinion.
I do feel like high school, you do turn that corner a little bit.
Yeah.
And there was a study by ASU that showed the most stressed out parents were parents of middle schoolers, not infants, not high schoolers. And the reason is that in middle school, they're trying to figure themselves out and they're having this huge change. Like, up until the time they're like 10, 11, you're the most important thing in their lives and they love you. Then it shifts into their friends are the most important thing in their lives. By the time, and they're trying to figure out themselves, like, am I a rocker? Am I a stoner? Am I an A student? Like, and then by the time they get to high school, their identity, their like teen identity is somewhat established. They have their friend group, so they've settled. So I found high school to be much easier than middle school, not without its challenges.
100%. I agree.
And I think it's the opposite sex comes in, or they're same sex, whatever.
Yeah.
But the sexual thing comes out,
Right.
and that is that's a hard one, right? So
because you're teaching them rules and boundaries about being a young adult, and this is yes, and this is no, and this is that feeling, and you don't know, and you just, you know what I mean? You have to go through all of it with them. And those are conversations you have to have. You can't sweep that stuff under the rug. Sometimes dads are uncomfortable about talking with it. You should talk about it,
You have to.
You have to.
Now, I talked about it with my kids, and I gave both of my boys condoms when they were still playing with Pokemon cards. Because I said to my ex-husband, I was like, look, by the time if we think they're having sex, they have been having sex. Right.
So, but I think you should still give condoms to your...
Well, but ain't no one having sex with someone who plays Pokemon.
Maybe not.
Probably not, unless you're into furries or stuff.
That's a thing.
So I was like, it is a thing. So there's there's probably a OnlyFans page for that. Anyway,
there's someone for everyone.
But I gave my boys way before I thought they might need it.
But it's good to have that conversation. Those are part of boundaries.
It is part of boundaries, and that is a super uncomfortable. Like, I'm not sure I did it the right way. But you just have to talk about it, and I think you have to give them things to be safe well ahead of when you're not planting the seed. You're not saying go ahead and have sex,
but be smart about it.
And also, I explained to them wait for someone who's special, And then my youngest son did, and then I made her break up with her because she was fucking crazy, as was her family. Anyway, so what was your experience in high school? I mean, I know.
For my children?
Yeah, like boundaries. Like, what kind of boundaries?
I guess that mostly so I think it's different between boys and girls or whatnot. But I know for the girls, it's taking the high road, don't get caught up in the drama. Don't go into the nitty gritty, all of that
the
stuff.
Girl drama.
Yes.
That's actually
huge. So it's trying to teach them what's okay, what's not okay. I wouldn't do it that way. Call me before you react. That means don't react. It means think about, cool heads prevail. That's what you have to do. You've got to calm down, collect your thoughts, and then go at them.
If you have a girl child, be prepared. You can have the chillest girl child. Mm-hmm. The girl drama will find her.
Yeah.
It is insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Absolutely. And we're going to put a pin in for Bailey Wilson because we're just entering junior year of high school and we are getting through it. I mean, I think we talked about him wrecking his car. He turned 16. We got him a used car. It was a really nice car, really good deal. It took us like 6 months to searching and looking and just trying to find the right one that's good for him. And then he wrecked it. It was like the first time it rained in Arizona in forever. So it was slick out, curbed it. Wrecked the suspension. Nobody was hurt. Thank goodness nobody was hurt. Fine. No big deal. He decided to double down the week of my birthday.
Okay. I would also say, as just rule of thumb with cars, do not get your child a nice car.
No.
Do not get them a nice car because they are going to wreck it. They're going to hit someone. They're going to do something stupid. They're get them a starter car.
Both kids got a ticket straight up. Both of them had to go within 6 months. Both of them had to go to driving school.
Oh, I was my children have already, yeah.
What? Seriously? And then,
that's a boundary.
Yes, it is.
Hi, City of Scottsdale.
Right?
Take the driving school.
So then we had, and then Bailey decided to double down the week of my birthday. And hit a parked car with Dad's car. So he doesn't have a car anymore. And so we had a rule.
So he had to ruin Dad's car. Awesome.
Yeah, he scratched it up. So anyway, so this is another boundary. So now we get paid out the insurance for the car. We put it in savings. And we're like, all right, here's the deal. You're getting your sister's used car and we're buying Brooklyn a car. Now, that's a whole different subject. She's like, I want this Mercedes. I'm like, nope. Start over. Who do you think you are? Yeah, seriously. Boundaries. It never ends. You have to be realistic with
the stuff they ask for. When it's insane, you need to tell them it's insane. You need to tell them it's insane.
Yes.
Okay, so high school, I never even had a curfew for my kids. I said, if you're going to sleep at a friend's house, you need to call me. I need to know. Right. My kids came home at normal times. They never abused that. I'm more free range parent, but I feel like my kids knew what I wanted them to do. I told them, I told them what I wanted them to do. I didn't really, I think I grounded Sam when he started really acting out with his grades and stuff senior year. Mm-hmm. But prior to that, I'm pretty sure I never grounded Jack.
Right. Well, you're just just do the right thing. Life will be so much easier. But when you take that away from them and they see you've restricted them, then they're like, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I'm sorry, Mom.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's tie this up with a bow because the reason that we're even talking about this is that my douchebag.
Oh, yeah. This is the ba-dum-bum.
Ba-dum-bum. So so my son graduated. He's my youngest. He's 18. I took him on this orientation tour. Now, he has been a total dick to me for probably the last year. Interestingly, I called my mom when all of this went down and she's like, I was about to say something to him too. I don't like the way he's treating you. And it makes me so angry. And I'm like, thank you, Mommy. So, okay. So I was in DC, took off all the 2 days. Yeah. I'm like,
And by the way, you were like, I am unplugging. I am going to be present. I'm going to be here for my son. And we heard the message.
And normally I'm not. Normally when I'm on vacation even, I'm doing something, whatever. Yeah. But I was like, I want to just be present. I want to be doing this.
Because you were giving that to him.
So every time I saw him, acted like I was, just, I don't know, like a fly or just he just wanted nothing to do with me. And I kind of just I sucked it up. So then we get home from DC. So we land at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport. We're in the garage. I am starting the car to go home. And I turn to him and just innocently say, wow, what do you think was worse? Do you think it was the humidity in DC or you think it's the heat here? And he looks at me, he's like, what? I fucking lost it. There was 2 days of I have done everything for you and I am and you are terrible. So I get out of the garage. I'm like, you are treating me awful. Why are you treating me so terribly? He's like, your questions, your questions don't make any sense. I said, Sam, I am speaking to you with the same words and the same mouth and the same brain that I speak to everybody else in the world.
And you're actually probably trying to coax more out of him. Because,
I'm trying to be even nicer.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and nobody on the planet talks to me the way that you talk to me. I actually said, there's not a single motherfucker on the planet that talks to me the way you do. Anyway, sorry. So he's like, so then he gets stone-faced. He's staring straight ahead. I'm like, okay, you know what? You don't have to answer me. Or let's start with an easier question. Do you think I deserve to be treated the way that you've been treating me? Stone-faced, looking ahead. So I just pull over at one of the terminals. Now I have all these cars honking behind me. They want to move up, da-da-da. And Sam's just sitting there. I'm like, no, I'll wait. Like, what? Like, you got to talk to me. What's going on here? Nothing. So finally, I said, you put the Uber app on your phone when we were in DC, right? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, get out of my car and use your Uber app, and you get yourself home.
Yeah.
So he gets out of the.
Did you give him his luggage too?
No, I fucking took. He tried to get in. I'm like, nope. I'm like, you've got your phone. Just then, when I was like 5 minutes away, I was just like, you know what? I don't want him in the house.
Yeah.
He's been mind-blowingly terrible. Like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah.
So I send him a text. I'm like, you can't come home until you're ready to talk about this and treat me better.
Right.
So
that's a big boundary.
If you can't do those things, you cannot sleep at home tonight.
Right.
So he, interestingly enough, did not stay at his father's house, but he got, I think, a friend to come pick him up, and he stayed at a friend's house. Mm-hmm. Then he sent me this text that
same night?
That same night that was like, it was kind of like trying to explain himself and blah, blah, blah. So I was like, it was still angry, but I was like, all right, it's a start. So that's on the way to work the next day. I was like, I'm going to put together a contract. I'm going to put together a contract of the things these boys do. Oh, because then when I got home, so that was 2 days being treated like shit.
Yeah.
Kicking my son out of the car, telling me he can't come home, getting to my house. I walk in. The house is a semi-disaster. And I look at my microwave, and there's a note on there, do not use. I'm like, Jack should have been moved out a month ago, right?
Yeah.
It would have been cheaper at this point for Jack to have moved out a month ago, because he broke the microwave by putting metal in it. I'm like, that is 101. What?
You're like, son, there's this thing called heat. You turn on a heater and you don't put metal in a microwave.
I don't understand. You know this. So anyway, but my brother, the next day, my brother, his wife, the kid, I'm like, I need a microwave to warm up chicken nuggets. I'm like, anyway, and it just, I'm like, I am truly ready for them to launch and be on their own. Anyway, the next morning I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not melting down on them. I've got to set better expectations. I need to be specific. Mm-hmm. So I talked to you when I got into the office. I'm like, I'm going to write a contract. I'm going to write a contract. These are the things they need to do. And what did you say to me?
Nope. I didn't say nope. I said, I listened to you. I listened to you talk about what would be on the contract. And I'm like, listen, I just said, I think that you should write a love letter to them. This is how I want to be treated. This is how I treat you. This is how I want to be treated, instead of making it contractual, because then they're going to come at you like it's a contract, and this is family, and there's family contracts, but this is more love than contractual stuff.
So I listened to you, and I wrote, and I will read this. I won't read all the things, but I said, it's titled Family Love Language, parentheses, Mom's Version.
There you go.
Like Taylor's version.
I love that.
Okay. So as you should, look, by the way, I wrote this in between a million things, and I just don't let.
You have to get it off your brain so you can do it.
And that's what I did.
Yeah.
So I said, as you shift from children to men, it means that our relationship will also be growing and changing. Change is good, and you growing up is really exciting and awesome. But when the rules and expectations change, it's a good time for us to spell them out for each other so we can do our best to love and support each other in the ways that feel best. Again, I would have, if I had more time, I would change that. Yeah. Not good English. Anyway, but so while
you're speaking from the heart.
I am. So while this is my needs list, I would love it if you would write down some specific actions that you want to see from me. I want to support you to become strong, independent, resilient, empathetic, and loving men. As your mom, that is still my job. In fact, it's my most important life work. important life's work.
Yes.
These are the things that are really important for you to do to make me feel you love and respect me. And then I have like a list of them. There's not a long list.
No, I love that. I think that's perfect. And I think that when they look at it from that perspective, they're going to care about that. Then they're going to look at yours and they're going to be like, okay, I want to reciprocate.
I think so. And when I sat down, so I got home that night, I was like, I need you to come sit down. Jack had a friend over. I'm like, Carter, just stay in here. We're closing the door. And I was like, okay, boy. And, Jack gets all nervous because the last time I said I had to talk to him, I told him we were getting divorced. So he's like, oh my God.
He has PTSD.
He has PTSD.
Oh.
I know, poor boy. So I sat him down and, but then after I read it, and Sam did kind of check out like for a minute. And I looked at him and I'm like, put your phone down. You need to be engaged in this. Mm-hmm. Like, this is for you, Sam. And look me in the eyes while I'm saying this. Right. And he did. And then at the end, what's interesting? I said, I really do want you to write down what you need from me. I want to try to give you what you need. And I said, what are you feeling? Are there any things you're like coming off the top of your head that you think that I could do? And they were both like, no, which is expected. But then I was like, well, how are you feeling? And Jack, my feeler, he's like, I just feel really sad.
Oh.
And I don't know if he feels sad because the things I asked for were like pretty basic.
Oh, gosh.
And it's like, if you're not doing that, like, oh my God.
Yeah.
Anyway, so putting a bow in it, that's what I've done. Like, it never ends.
But what was Sam's reaction?
Nothing. Nothing.
It'll come.
And that's why I thought this was better, because Sam needs time to process and think and then say things. Yeah. So I thought, instead of me coming at him and saying like this, or this, and just like waiting for him to explain himself, I thought I'd give him a piece of paper. He doesn't have to like think about what I said, because I'm just reading off. Yeah. This is exactly what Mom said. This is exactly what Mom, put into words. Right. He can take it, he can think about it, and we'll revisit it. So, anywho, what else?
Was this a therapy session or was this a podcast?
Yes.
Asking for me.
Yes.
Not for a friend.
Yes.
Did you love how my email said today? I'm like, is it Monday or is it Friday?
I was like, doesn't matter. Work harder. Yeah. Work harder.
I was dying.
Okay. So look, it's hard. It doesn't end, I guess is what I'm saying. It doesn't, there's no start date. There's no end date. Like, you've got to teach your children how to respect you their entire lives. Mm-hmm. And it's going to shift and change. Your needs are going to shift and change. Their needs are going to shift and change. I have a friend who has a son who dealt with some substance abuse issues. Like, those boundaries are real hard. Like, Al-Anon is amazing. Mm-hmm. So like, don't be afraid to like go sit down with a therapist, go to a support group, listen to this podcast, share it with someone you love. Like, but it's call in your forces, call in your angels, call in your tribe. Like, you are going to need them all. Yes. It's not a one and done. It is a lifelong teaching, because it changes their entire life. Well,
and I'll just one last thing. There was a post on a Scottsdale forum that I follow, and it said, anonymous poster said, does anybody have an attorney that I can hire? My teens decided not to make some very good decisions, and I need to hire a lawyer. So at least we're not going down that road, and then, like, knock on wood. So there are other things.
It can always be worse.
So no matter what you're going through. And
by the way, if someone says their kids are angels, like, they're just lying to you. Yeah. They are absolutely lying to you. You've heard it here first. Okay. We got to our people need to get going. Dale is here.
Yes.
He's ready to pick you up.
Yep.
Okay. What's your mom hack?
The power of attorney for children. Power of attorney, after they hit the age of 18, you get locked out of everything. There's no more, you can't call and get their records. You can't call and ask for anything. It's all about them. So you should get a power of attorney for your children and medical power of attorney, so that you have something to say. And then my one good thing is, Nicole is amazing, and you had totally surprised me with this surprise 50th birthday party that was beyond amazing. It was a group effort. I was not even expecting it. I was going to a barbecue and I almost brought a dip, and Dale goes, do not bring a dip. They've got plenty of food. Like, you don't need to bring anything. And I'm like, are you sure? I always bring food.
I told everyone you're going to walk in with dip.
I was going to, and he made me not at the last minute. And so I'm like, okay, fine, I'll just bring extra wine.
So Kathleen couldn't go on her 50th birthday cruise like she was planning. It's just delayed. It's going to happen. But, because Dale has some health stuff, that's the most important thing.
And that's another good thing. He's getting better.
Yeah.
That's
and
great.
he didn't die.
Yep.
Yay.
He did not die.
He did not die. That's still like our one good thing forever. And so Dale is like, in the hospital, he's like, I need help planning this part. So, called in a couple of friends and we just took care of it. And it was amazing. And Brooklyn gave the most amazing toast.
She made me sob.
We need to post that picture because that picture, I took this picture where you just broke down crying. You put your hands in your face.
I couldn't even. I mean,
she stood up and said the most amazing stuff.
Well, and I remember what she said because these are the things. Like, she stood up and she said, "What you see on the outside is what we get on the inside." Like she's that. Like there is no variance, which is true. Like I'm an open book, and it's who I am.
I love it. Yeah. So my mom hack is get your kids the Uber app. You're welcome. And my one good thing was seeing my dear, amazing friends in DC, Erica and Heidi, because without them, I would have lost my cool a lot earlier. But having your girlfriends is everything. And having your people who are just like, you're going to get through it. We got through it. You're like, it's like, just vent to me, get it off your chest. And, you're doing the best you can.
That's all you can do.
That's all you can do.
Yep.
So, all right. Cheers. Are you ready for the weekend?
Yes.
Cheers, lady, and press and hold. Thanks, everybody.
Have a great week.
We love you.